I wanted to do a quick addendum to the video I just did about Ralph Nader and the video games. Because tonight, part of tonight is going to be spent talking very much candidly about video game violence and its effects or non-effects, and guns, and that issue that cannot go away. Because right now, everybody's losing their mind. Everybody's doing something either stupid or beyond stupid, and then acting as if, oh, well, I have a right to do this with this tool, so screw you, you lefty, pinko communist. But let me just back this up, and I'm going to issue you a challenge, society. Let's not just wait for Obama, okay? Let's not just wait for Obama's study with the CDC who I've already talked about, who shares the same fear of violent video games that a lot of soccer moms out there do, and unfortunately seems to have the same ideas that these soccer moms do. Well, this can't be healthy for Junior. To you, I'm going to throw this out here. I will eat crow live if you can do one thing for me. Prove your point. Don't give me morals, because I've already talked about how most of your morals are based off of mob morality. And that is based off of the whim of the mob, not anything that is logically based, scientifically based, or anything that is beneficial to anybody other than the mob. The other thing is, one study is not going to do it. I want you to present me with no less than 10 studies that prove that there is an absolute direct link between violent video games and violent behavior. And there's the key word there, violent behavior. I don't want to hear that violent video games contain situations that show through MRIs that areas of the brain that are activated for aggression seem to come alive, and alive more than normal, when people are playing video games. I've heard that argument before. Aggression does not automatically equal violence. Aggression does not automatically equal action. I've seen more studies that show that, yeah, the brain part is alive and kicking, and can be alive and kicking up to 20 minutes after the finish of the gameplay. Beyond that, the things that actually are starting to create aggression, as I've talked about in my video game research, link is down on my playlist, is on my channel. I'm not even asking you to debunk my studies. I'm asking you for at least 10 studies that prove that this is a worthwhile endeavor, that we're not throwing literally millions of dollars into a study that has not already been answered to the nth degree at this point. Show me that. And I'm not going to give cutoff dates. You can bring up everything. You can even drag out Bandura. I've already talked about the junk science of Bandura, but feel free to bring out Bandura. But again, he's one, maybe 2 studies that he's done that you could present. Beyond that, there's still at least 8 more that you would have to then present after that. And I'm asking for single entries into this foyer, because I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm tired of you just simply not understanding and not liking a medium. You've done this with art. You did this with comic books. You did this with music. You've done this with movies. You've done this with this. I've already talked about many of the flaws that these rating systems tend to present. I've already talked about the fact that, at least when it comes to movies, kids are way more able to see more realistic depictions of violence and sex in movies that they can readily get than they can with video games. It's not, this has gone beyond scapegoating. You know, I was happy, I was ecstatic when we didn't drop the gun topic, because we can't drop it anymore. We've dropped it like it's hot, to borrow a phrase from Snoop Dogg, oh, excuse me, Snoop Lion. And for a while, that sustained us. That sustained our ignorance. Not only are we not dropping the guns, we're not dropping the media. But moreover, we're focusing more on video games than we are on the forms of media that have oftentimes way more violence, sex, 50 Shades of Grey, anybody? And so on and so forth, that kids can readily buy and have little or no issue with purchasing. Because absolutely, when I worked at Target, you know what they were focused on? Kids couldn't buy this, but they could buy some unrated version of some raunchy, nudity-filled movie. My prompts didn't warn me, and if I wasn't aware of the video, then I couldn't stop the people because I wasn't always up on every movie that was coming out at the time. So, this is where it stands. Prove your case or stop it. Because this is becoming a temper tantrum that just won't stop. Every time we refute you, you try to bring out something new, or a new shooting happens, like the one in New Mexico, and oh my God, the kid said he was 15 and he loved violent video games. There's that causal link. No, it's not a causal link. You don't get it, do you? You don't get it, do you? You don't care about all the art. Heck, this box is art. Somebody had to design this font, this logo, its placement on here. They had to design, and in cases digitally or even sometimes by hand, paint this up. They had to resize it and figure it out for the bestseller thing here. The back of the box. What screenshots do they take? How do they take them? And what are they taking screenshots are? That's a 3D mesh. That's a 3D mesh. That's a 3D mesh. Heck, even the background area is a 3D mesh. It's not just an open area piece of light. There's a self-contained world that these games create. That's a 3D mesh. That's a 3D mesh. That's a 3D mesh. What, did these just poof into existence? Somebody had to create those. Somebody like myself. I'm more of a vehicle modeler. I kind of suck at organic, but it's art. Now, what people use this art for, that's their business. This may be Grand Theft Auto, but you know what? I let my son, our first video game together was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Oh, what a terrible person I am. Guess what my son did? He drove around in cop cars and in fire engines and flew helicopters because they were there, because he could. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't purposely run over anybody, though the driving physics is a little... And he had fun. Innocent fun. He was playing Hot Wheels in an open environment where he had a choice. Nowhere in this game did it ever tell him, hey kid, you're not playing this game right. You got to go kill people. See that chainsaw over there and that crowd of people? You need to make use of that. If anything, it's games like these that give you choices, that give you decisions to make, that really have you at times questioning, do I really want to hurt that person, or do I just want to bypass them? Maybe I want to let them go because maybe they'll help me out later, and on and on and on. But oh no, no, games can't teach morality. Games can't be just fun, mindless anything. It has to be a, what is it you guys like to use? Murder simulator. Because yes, after playing Grand Theft Auto, I am proficient in any and all vehicles that can fly, glide across the water, or drive on the streets. And thanks to all these weapons that this game has, I'm proficient in everything up through an RPG. And thanks to this game, I realized that there are no morals. There is no moral system to life, so I can do whatever I want and I'll just respawn if I get killed by the cops because that's how reality works. Except it's you out there who are lobbying against this and saying the most disgusting, inaccurate, and offensive things about this medium, who are the people who I'm afraid do not have the slightest idea of how reality works. So, here's the thing. Prove it by the end of this year or stop saying it. I'm sorry that this medium offends you so deeply. But you don't have to buy it for your friends or your family. They don't have to buy it for their friends and family. You can have your nice little isolated group where you don't play games, you don't buy game systems, and you live a happy, carefree life where your life is not impacted by anybody who does play violent video games. I rest my case.